I'm great, James. What's going on?
Oh, nothing much. I'm so excited to finally get a chance to talk to you. For those of you who are joining me, I'm James Singleton, founder of Insightful Voice, and we are launching a whole new series of IB videos. These, as you know, I usually talk to life coaches and thought leaders from around the country on a specific topic, and today we're going to kick off a series talking about failure and what it means to make a mistake. And sometimes in the moment when failure seems to be the wrong thing in the moment, how it could be the right thing for your life. But before we continue, I want to introduce you to my special guest, Mr. Russ Terry. He is a longtime human resources professional who loved helping people so much that he made it his full-time job, which I love. From New York, he's a life coach who works with clients to help them identify and accomplish their dreams, as well as live a robust, healthy, financially stable, well-balanced life. Russ has had 4 unique careers: certified public accountant, TV sports anchor and reporter, human resources senior manager, and now life coach. Although he's experienced 4 distinct careers, he was able to successfully navigate from one seemingly unlike career to the next. He built on his own lessons learned to help people make their own transitions. That's fantastic. Russ has a YouTube channel and is creator, executive producer, and host of the Life Coach Radio Network and International Life Coach Radio, 2 popular stations on Blog Talk Radio. Thanks so much for joining me.
Oh, you're welcome, James. What a great bio. Who wrote that? Oh, wait, that was me.
Yes, you wrote it, and it sounds fantastic, and all of that is true. So it even makes it more of an honor to get a chance to talk to you after all the life experience that you had and have. And as I said at the top of the video, we're talking about failure and your life lessons learned. So I want to ask you 3 questions related to failure. And the first question is, why do you think people are so afraid to fail?
Wow. That's an excellent question. I think part of it is human nature, that some of us are just predisposed to being conservative people, not conservative from a political view standpoint, but conservative from a how they live their life standpoint, not going for things, not taking chances, not stepping outside their comfort zone. Maybe that's how they were raised. And the values that were instilled in them growing up, and they never felt the desire to do anything differently from that. So that's probably, I would say, the most common scenario. Other scenarios could be somebody who tried and failed and didn't want to get back on the horse.
Right. And so they're scared because they think it's going to happen again.
Right.
And instead of taking a step back and looking at the big picture and saying, I failed, what could I learn from that? They just fail and they just stop.
Exactly.
So talking about like what people, giving them a chance to kind of learn from a mistake or from failure, I want to talk to you about a situation where you failed. And what lesson did you learn? Like, what could you have done differently first? And then what lesson did you ultimately learn from that failure?
So it's funny, this assumes that failure exists, which I would like to raise the point that perhaps we think it exists, but it doesn't really exist. And the example I'm going to share, I think, is a good case of that. So in my last job, when I was in HR, I was at this firm 12 and a half years, and I got a really bad performance evaluation from the director who I was working for. Now, I had been at this firm from intern all the way through senior manager, and 99% of the people there loved me. But for whatever reason, this gentleman and I didn't see eye to eye. And after 18 months, in the beginning it was annoying, then it got to the point where it got bad, and then went from bad to worse, literally. And I remember the day like it was yesterday on 11/11. So 6 number ones, I got this performance evaluation from him that was bad. And it said, if you don't improve in the next 30 days, i.e. by 12/11/11, results could be serious up to and including termination. So, firing me 2 weeks before Christmas. I mean, who does that, you know?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So I had one of those, blood rushes to your face moments where it's just uncomfortable uh, but I took the weekend to think about it and was like, you know what? I don't want to continue to beat myself up and be in this situation where somebody doesn't appreciate me and my talents.
Right.
That's fine that he thinks I'm doing a poor job, but I know I'm not doing a poor job. And the people that I'm doing this work for other than him don't think I'm doing a poor job. It's just one person's opinion.
Right.
So because I was with the firm for so long, somehow we came to not me and him, but me and the human resources rep for the human resources professionals. She said, I can talk to the in-house attorneys. Maybe we can figure out a way to offer you a package to leave because you don't want to work for him anymore. He clearly, is not enjoying your work. So I thought, that sounds great, actually, and I didn't know what I was going to do next, but I knew I didn't want to work for him anymore.
Right, right.
So I'm on this path, late 2011, early 2012, of figuring out what I wanted to do. And mid-December 2011, somebody said, Russ, have you ever thought about being a life coach?
I love this story. I love it. Go ahead.
And I was like, no, not really. Tell me. And she was like, well, so-and-so, our mutual friend, went through a life coach training program and loved it. And I know you're passionate about coaching here as an HR professional at the firm, and I think you'd be really good at it. So I kind of percolated on that a little bit. And then 3 weeks later, right after New Year's, I had lunch with a different colleague, somebody in the IT department, didn't know this first person. She says, Russ, have you ever thought about being a life coach?
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh my God, I had never thought about being a life coach. And then these two women who don't know each other both suggested it to me within 3 weeks of each other. So I looked into it more, spoke to some more people, liked everything I heard. I still tried to find another job within that firm, just again, because of stability. I have a mortgage. But I was picky, and I didn't want to go for just anything. I wanted something that I thought I would really like.
Yeah.
So it turns out I was the final two for two different roles, one in New Zealand, one in Los Angeles, both of which would have been long-term temporary assignments, 6 to 9 months. But they selected the other person in each case. Yeah. So mid-March last year, I decided to leave my job. I accepted the severance, the vacation payout, the unemployment, and become a life coach. And I literally ended that job March 15th, 2012, started life coach training the next morning, March 16th. By early April, I had my first life coaching client. By mid-May, I had 8 clients. And now I'm up to almost 50 clients and running 2 radio networks. And
that's amazing.
Because of that alleged failure, I'm living the best life. It's such an incredible life that I never even would have imagined it had I still been at that firm and being a good to great employee.
So that's why you bring up, does it really exist? Because if you really think about it, if that didn't happen, the whole conversation of 12, 11, 11, then you probably could have still been in that job and not have experienced the joy of where you were supposed to be, which is being a life coach.
Exactly.
So I think what's so interesting is, and I think a lot of people will relate to this, I think life is always trying to get you to where you're supposed to be, but you're the one standing in the way, right?
Yes.
And there are a lot of the times where if you're not able to make a mistake or have that uncomfortable conversation where it says either do this or that, then you'll stay stuck in a situation that you're really not happy with. And what is interesting to me is that once you have that hard conversation with your boss that gave you that, listen, it's this or you're out, then you started hearing more people talk about, have you ever considered becoming a life coach? And I would dare to say that conversation, those questions probably have been happening all along, but you just had not been open to it. to that point. I mean, that's my thinking, because I feel like that's what a lot of people go through, that it's not until they're able to fail or, have that hard, difficult conversation. It's not until they're able to do that they're able to be open to where they're really supposed to go in life. That's a fantastic story. Thank you so much for sharing that. I really, really appreciate it. This is the last question, and it's a big question, so take your time in thinking about it. But what would you do if you knew you could not fail?
Go for everything.
What does that mean? Tell me more. That sounds really good.
Just take chances career-wise, take chances in love, take chances with family relationships, with personal finance, with incredible fun and enjoyment experiences, skydiving or things of that nature. Just going for it in life. And that's my mindset, but you alluded to it earlier. I think there are so many people that are stuck and just don't see happiness and success as possible for them, and just aren't comfortable getting unstuck.
Right. It's so true. Russ, I knew this was going to be a good conversation. I knew it when I pressed record. But I am so excited that we finally got a chance to connect and finally got a chance to talk about, I think, a real hard topic, failure. And I hope that what you have said, the story that you shared about how you became a life coach and what led to that, I hope that will allow somebody who's watching this to say, you know what, the failure that I experienced last week, or that hard conversation that I had, or this struggle, or this place of being stuck, is not a bad thing. It's just up to me to move forward and move from this. So thank you for sharing that. And for those of you who are watching, you can find out more information from Russ Terry. I'm going to include all of his links in the description below this video on YouTube. You have to watch some of his videos. You have to also tune into some of his blog, radio talks. I mean, they are really, really good, so you definitely don't want to miss those. Russ, thank you again for talking with me, and we will connect later, I'm sure.
That sounds good. And one more piece of advice for your viewers.
Yes.
Fail quickly. The sooner you fail, allegedly, assuming fear exists, then the sooner you learn lessons from it and achieve higher levels of happiness and joy than you ever thought possible. And I'm an example of that.
I don't have anything else to say. That was great. That was a great way to wrap this up. Thank you so much, Russ.
You're welcome, James.
Okay, talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Bye.